Hi, Fivemar. Welcome back to part two of chapter two. It's a bit shorter, this one. Feel free to read with me. I hope you enjoy. Okay. I was about to tell her all about Kaspar smiling at me the day before, but she was in full flow, and I didn't dare to interrupt her. Because you make us both so happy, Johnny Trot, I wish to invite you to the Magic Flute, to the opera at Covent Garden, tomorrow evening. It is the first night. Will you come? I was so taken aback I did not even think to thank her. Me? I said. Why not? You'll sit in the best seat. Dress circle. You are a guest of the Queen of the Night. I'd really like to, Countess. Honest I would, I told her. But I can't. I'll be working. I don't finish till 10 o'clock. Don't worry. I fixed this already with the manager at the hotel, she said, with an imperious wave of her hand. I told him you do not work tomorrow, you have the day off. But you've got to be smart to go to the opera, Countess, I said. I've seen all the grand gentlemen and the ladies. I haven't got the right clothes. I'll fix this too, Johnny Trot. You'll see, I'll fix everything. And so she did. She hired me a suit to wear, the first proper suit I ever put on. I could hardly believe it when I found myself the next day standing in front of her in the sitting room, all washed and brushed up, while she adjusted my tie and collar. I remember that I was looking up into her face, and all I wanted to do was to call her mother, to hug her tight and never let her go. She frowned. Why do you look at me like this, Johnny Trot? She said. I think maybe you have tears in your eyes. I like this. You are a boy with feeling, so you will be a man with big heart. Mozart had a big heart, and he was the greatest man who ever lived. A little mad, maybe, but I think you have to be a little mad to be great. I love this man. I tell you something, Johnny Trot. I have no son, no husband. I have only Prince Kaspar and my music. But if I had a husband, he would be Mozart. And I say something else. If I have a son, I want him to be like you. This is the truth. Now, Johnny Trot, I take your arm, and you will walk me to Covent Garden. Be proud, Johnny Trot. Walk like Kaspar. Walk tall, like you are a prince, like you are my son. This time, when Mr. Freddy saw me coming and raised his top hat, there was no mockery in it whatsoever, only open-mouthed astonishment. The Savoy lobby fell silent in utter disbelief as we strode through. I felt about 10 feet tall, and that's how I continued to feel as we made our way up through Covent Garden Market to the Royal Opera House. I should like to be able to say that I remember every moment, every note of my evening at the opera, but I do not. It passed in a blur of wonderment. I do, however, have a very clear memory of Countess Kadinsky as she made her first entrance as the Queen of the Night. The rapturous applause after every aria she sang, and the standing ovation for her in the final curtain. In fact, I was so proud of her, so carried away by it all, that I stuck my fingers in my mouth and gave her the loudest, longest whistle I could. Ignoring the disapproving looks all around me, I knew full well it was not the thing to do, but I just didn't care. I whistled again and again. I stood and clapped until my hands hurt, till the curtain closed for the last time. As we walked back to the hotel together later that night, I was so laden down with all the flowers she had been given that I could scarcely see in front of me. Kaspar was waiting for us when we got back, yowling around us until I gave him some milk. The Countess went straight to the piano, her hat still on, and began to play softly. This I play every night after the opera, before I go to bed. It is a lullaby by Mozart. It is beautiful, no? Prince Kaspar likes this very much. And as if to prove it, Kaspar leapt onto the piano to listen. Johnny Trot, she went on, still playing, do you think they liked how I sang tonight? You must tell me the truth. Of course, I told her. Didn't you hear them? And you, Johnny Trot, do you like how I sing? I have never heard anything so wonderful, I said, and I meant it. She stopped playing and beckoned me over to the piano. She reached up and brushed the hair from my forehead. You go now, Johnny Trot. It is very late. The next day, Mr. Freddy and all the others on the servants' corridor teased me mercilessly. Who's the la-di-da lad, then? They called after me. La-di-da! Whatever they said, I didn't mind. I was on cloud 9. During our walk in the park that morning, I told Kaspar all about my night at the opera, how everyone there had taken the Countess to their hearts, how she would be the talk of London, that he should be very proud of her. When no one was around, I even whistled him a snatch of a tune I had remembered, but this did not seem to impress him at all. When we came back through the front door half an hour later, I was expecting more of the same banter, more ribbing. I was even looking forward to it. But as I came through the lobby, I noticed everyone was behaving very strangely, that they were averting their eyes, obviously not wanting to talk to me. I thought at first they must be angry with me. Mr. Freddy came over to me then and took me gently to one side to offer me some advice. I thought something he often did when I'd done something wrong. Best get this over with, Johnny, he began. It's the Countess. She was knocked down an hour or so ago, just outside in the street. An omnibus it was. They say she walked straight out in front of it. Couldn't seen it coming. We was all very fond of her, you most of all. Almost like a mother she was to you, wasn't she? I'm sorry, Johnny. She was a good lady, a fine lady, and a kind one too. Okay, so that is the end of chapter 2, and I look forward to reading chapter 3 with you. Thank you, 5MR. Bye.